Yachts, super yachts, mega yachts, giga yachts even. Despite the downturn in the economy, at the moment there are more and more of these gigantic luxury vessels coming out of the shipyards, and most of them are heading to the Mediterranean. And right now, various marina developers are making every effort possible to welcome these super yachts in the very best possible conditions. But what makes a true super yacht marina? Well, we're going to try to find out, and to do so, we've come here in Antibes today to discover what makes one of the first super yacht marinas in the world. We are here in the summer, and just as during any season of the year, the marina is absolutely full. It is so full, in fact, that obtaining a berth to rent annually here is virtually impossible for newcomers. The French Riviera is a particularly demanded place. According to a survey carried out in the region 5 years ago, there are approximately 4 times more large yachts operating along this coastline than there are berths. This creates a kind of musical chairs game amongst yachts, or if you like, a musical berth game. This also means that the possibility of keeping a yacht here annually has become very valuable over the years. One of the consequences is that the rights to use some of the berths along the Billionaire's Quay have in the past been sold for record figures. Some of them have sold for tens of millions of euros. And Antibes is indeed the first super yacht marina historically to have existed. It is the first marina, in fact, to have developed its infrastructure specifically to welcome yachts of such size. Then, of course, in terms of ranking nowadays, it is the first marina in Europe in terms of traffic and in terms of tonnage of the vessels it welcomes. And that's where Antibes is very different, because there are much larger marinas in the world, but for the size of Antibes, this is clearly quite amazing, quite unique. But how did all this begin? Now, if you come here for the first time, seeing this old fort, these old walls, this old town, you may actually believe that this harbour has been the same for centuries, and you'd be so wrong. In fact, this part of the harbour you see behind me, which we nowadays call the Old Port, was until the 1970s the only marina, so to speak. The rest of the harbour was in fact a cove called the Saint-Roch, where you could just drop anchor. It's only afterwards that the town of Antibes started developing its marina to welcome more yachts, just as we know it today. This here is probably the most valuable berth on the Billionaire's Quay. It is 150 meters in length, and it is destined to be the home of the new mega yacht Dilbar. It has recently received quite a few improvements. It has been dredged, for instance, so there is ample depth for manoeuvring. There's additional fendering with these floating pontoons. And now there's even a platform so that guests can board the yacht in ultimate comfort. Of course, there's the Billionaire's Quay with its mega yachts, but further inside the marina, there are in fact 280 berths for yachts over 80 feet. Given the popularity of the region as a yachting destination, and given Antibes' central location, this creates the highest concentration of yachts, super yachts and mega yachts in the Mediterranean all year round. So at the moment, Antibes is an extremely prosperous marina. It is very popular, and the demand to moor here is still overwhelming. But what does the future hold? Could all the super yachts and yachts that stay here flee to other destinations? Well, some are concerned here, and their concern is shared by some people at the town hall and people at the marina's management. So at the moment, a lot of questions are being asked, and we've gone to see the director of Vauban, Mr. Descloiseaux, to ask him what the future holds.